Okay, today is October 14th, 2022. This is Vince Marino, Plumbing LLC in Pittsburgh. I'm working on a slant fin boiler that has an induced draft on. And what I'm going to do is remove this draft hood to install a barometric damper so we can control the draft. The boiler was putting off too much carbon monoxide and sucking everything in through the draft hood, and after doing the test it resolved. So I'll have some footage as we progress here. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I removed the draft and vacuumed inside. This T is going to go here. I just have to crimp the outlet. The barometric T is going to go right on top of this, and then the barometric will go inside. So this is the inducer, what they had. It's a field controls unit. This is upside down, but I think you can see. So that was pulling everything in through the room and making an inappropriate draft. Okay, this is the slant fin boiler. I have the okay, this is the completion of the barometric damper. MG1 draft control 6-inch. 2 spill switches, one on the top, one on the bottom. This is modulating to control the draft. The parts per million are 3 parts. There's an inducer on here, so the barometric's controlling the dilution air so it doesn't build up with carbon monoxide like it was before. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut this off to show what this thing does. And if you're working on boilers or whatever, you better make sure you have one of these analyzers. There is no draft in this place, and the inducer has to run with the barometric. It's not just the barometric damper. I did the test last week. So I'm going to turn this on and you'll see that pulling. The parts per million were rising up to like 1,400, 1,500 parts per million. And this only goes up to so much and then comes down. It's way below 400. Before it was going up over 15 to 1,600, 1,400. On initial startup. This will come down to 3 parts per million. Now, if I disconnect this power venter that's wired in with the circulator, I'll show you what will happen here. I did that last week. So we're going to just abort that power vent and turn this on. And you'll see that there's no draft. And the parts per million will rise drastically. So this proves that the inducer's needed with the barometric. And you'll see how these go up. There's no draft at all. Very low oxygen. The oxygen will drop. And it's starting to make a draft now at 0.1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, since I have the damper and now I was using the tape last week, take this off, adjust the gas pressure, and see if the oxygen increases. If that works out, which it is. Somebody added this inducer last year. We have a draft of 1 now. Let's see. We get the oxygen up to 6. This may be stable, which it is now. So we're going to turn this back on and see what happens. So we're going to shut this off. We're at a 0.1 draft. So we're going to shut this off and restart it. I did some work next door for this guy. I was referred. And he showed me this door in the summer, and I said I got to look into it further. Now you can see the draft went down. So we'll see what happens here. I'm going to turn this on. You can see the damper moving. So let's keep track of the parts per million. If they're going up, so we need to have the inducer. I'm going to try to adjust this gas another tweak down. And we'll see what occurs on that. I don't want to turn too much. We're going to shut them off and turn them back on. See if it works. The parts per million went up to like I was saying, 1600, and that was with the draft hood on. This is the draft hood over here. so wide open. It was on the parts per minute are coming down, and we're going to see what happens here when we turn this back on. So we're starting. We're going to turn the inducer on. I adjusted the gas and cleaned this. You can see this moving, modulating. This is without the inducer on. We have a draft of 0.1, but it's not quite stable. I'm gonna turn the gas down a little more and see what we can do. I'll get right back to you. Okay, after conducting a test for a few 10 minutes or so of the bore running without the inducer, I was barely maintaining a 0.1 parts per million. Excuse me, not 0.1 parts per million. 0.1 draft pressure. And the carbon monoxide was slightly rising and lowering. Now this is stable at 6 parts per million. On initial light up, we didn't go up anywhere near the 400 or 500 range. So the inducer has to stay. The oxygen will come down. We're at 5 parts. Oxygen's coming down to 10. 11, it'll be down to about 9 or 8. So this was basically done between 4 and 5. Modification of the draft. We moved this draft hood, installed the T with the gas barometric tamper to control the draft, and no longer sucking in everything through the draft hood. That damper is regulating to adjust the air. As you can see, it's only 4 parts per million. And this is how this thing is working. We're 4 parts per million. Steady state. It's not increasing or lowering, only going between 4 and 5. Of course, the draft is a little bit high, but that's because it's induced. This is still controlling the dilution air into the chimney. So we're getting good heat. It's at 473.4. It's climbing. Now I'm going to shut this off one more time and test the spill switches, and I'm going to call it a completion. This only goes up to about that amount, then it comes down. What I'm going to do is open this door to see if somebody opens a door, what that does. And this is regulating. So the safest operation for this is to run the inducer with the damper that's controlled. Set my timer for 10 minutes. Anything over 4 draft will be high on normal without the inducer. You'd have to control. High draft is a problem too, but this is burning very good. Yeah. Okay, I had my draft gauge. I was clustered in the wrong spot. So the draft is between 0.1 and 0.2 without any weights. You have to put the draft gauge after the inducer. I wasn't paying attention. So this is modulating. Your oxygen's down at 10.9, 3 parts per million to 4. It's been running for about 10 minutes. And this is running pretty good. It's safer and much more efficient. So I'm going to save the report, and do a digital on the draft. I want to see if they're the same. On that. So we corrected this small problem. The homeowner didn't even know. This is a rental next door to the owner. Didn't even know that this thing was putting out that much carbon monoxide going up the inducer. Alright, so I'm gonna check this with a digital flash. Let's see what the hell we got. I like to compare the two. And we got a -2. Okay, so I'm going to complete this I'm doing is I'm adding some weights to control the draft, to regulate it on the damper. This is flopping because of the fan, but it's not going too much above 2.5 to 3. That's stable. I don't want it above 3. That's the other side of the draft gauge, but it's stable now between 0.1 to 2. It's a little bit fluctuating. So everything's stable now. I'm gonna sign off until the next adventure. I have another one of these to correct. I'll have that within a week. But this is the modification of the barometric damper. I use 3 washers to get that between 0.2.